Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is HD. Welcome back. It's time for game number 2 between QxC and Dimaga in the HD World Tournament. This is the round of 16, and so far QxC, man, he has lost game number 1. It's down to the wire. Dimaga, if he wins this, he will be the first Zerg advancing into the round of 8, unless I'm mistaken, my memory is really that bad. I don't think it's that bad, though. I do believe that no Zerg has advanced so far as of yet. Hydra got eliminated, Zelnik got eliminated, and the last Zerg was darn it, I forget who it was, but I know I'm pretty sure the other Zerg is, maybe I haven't casted his game yet, so he may not be eliminated yet. It is going to be Dimaga here spawning on Shatter Temple down in the 6 o'clock location, and QxC spawning at the 9 o'clock location. Interestingly enough, QxC has chosen to play on Shatter Temple, which is, I believe it's kind of it is a very fair map, actually. More favored towards Terran back in the days with its Lost Temple younger brother predecessor, when there was a ledge overlooking the natural expansion for the Terran player where they could drop over there and basically harass the natural expansion. But nowadays, you can't really do that as a Terran anymore. But as a result, I think this map is very fair for TVZ. So QxC has chosen, I believe, to be a pretty good map. And it's certain to be an interesting game. Both these players have spawned, close spawn by air. Overlord has made its way over there, and it's like, okay, cool. There's a command center here. So Dimaga now realizes exactly where QxC's at, and as a result, QxC also knows where Dimaga's at, and QxC will be building an engineering bay to delay Dimaga's hatchery, and this was planned to be a 16 hatchery. My goodness, Dimaga here really wanted that early economy, and now I think he's gonna have to throw down a spawning pool, man. No spawning pool yet. He's actually going to pick off this engineering bay before getting his hatchery down, and he's not going to throw a spawning pool. Okay, there we go. Dimaga getting a spawning pool. A lot of times when you're a Zerg and you get your hatchery delayed, you just want to throw a spawning pool down right away. You don't really want to waste time, because if you try to waste time getting that hatchery up, you leave yourself vulnerable without having a spawning pool and without having the ability to produce Zerglings in case your opponent comes in with a couple Marines. And you guys can already see QxC has his rally point set. He's got an SCV on the way as well, so he's going to be doing a little bit of bunker harass here over to Dimaga's natural expansion. And the pressure is about to come on. Dimaga's spawning pool is a little bit delayed here, guys. So his Zergling support may come a little bit late, and the bunker may be allowed to go up, especially if there's no Overlord here to spot. But yeah, there we go. An Overlord. Dimaga sees that there is a SCV coming in here. He knows that could possibly be some kind of bunker harass, and here comes a bunker pulling his drones off the mineral line, about 5 of them, and that should be enough to deal with this bunker quite easily. Marine scoot and shoot by QxC. Very cute right here. He's going to keep this Marine alive for as long as possible, but actually allows it to get picked off. Oh no, a little bit of a miss micro. And this Marine's like, oh no, the Marine before me, his corpse is on the ground, it just died. That's scary. You don't want to see the guy who went before you kind of die. And so this Marine here, his fate not looking too good, as there's a couple of Zerglings out here, but he has a backup buddy, and he is gonna also die as well, along with the SCV. And QxC's early bunker harass gets thwarted almost immediately by Dimaga with the use of drones and Zerglings. Very nice play by Dimaga, even though he had a kind of delayed spawning pool, excuse me. And now QxC will be throwing down a couple of barracks at the front door. Presumably he's got a command center on the way. Yes, he does. He will be going for 1 barracks into fast command center, and he's got double gas going down as well. So we're probably going to be seeing some quick tech into factory. We're going to be most likely seeing Marine Hellion as per the previous game. And look at this beautiful concave of barracks being erected by QxC. I like this. It basically makes it so that the Marines who stand at the center can reach any Zergling that comes around. And really, even though you don't want to convex your units, when you're in this kind of position, this is the perfect time to do it. And Dimaga is going to have a very difficult time busting through this. Honestly, the barracks has like 1,000 HP, so it would take a ton of banelings to break through that thing. And Dimaga knows that. So I think what Dimaga is going to do here is most likely macro up as like the last game, and he's going to go most likely for the gold expansion, get this rock down, and then get his economy going. We can see that drone count starting to already get to maximum production. Some factories being thrown down inside of QxC's main. Let's go ahead and look at the APM tab. Not that tab, that's the wrong one. This is the APM tab. Wow, QxC at 300 APM for a moment there. Dimaga a little bit lower at 150. And let's go ahead and just look over at QxC's first-person player camera view, as he's just he's just Speedy Gonzalez, man. He's just building these things at a lightning fast pace. And he's got all of his barracks mass producing Marines at this moment in the game, which I do like. Marines combined with the Hellions, when they do come out, are going to be an extremely potent combination. And since we see QxC going for this double gas here, most likely we're going to be seeing him get that blue flame upgrade right away, and we can see the tech lab now on the way. So we're going to basically see a timing push in about 4 minutes with a large army of Marines being produced out of these 4 barracks along with blue flame Hellions. And it's really going to be up to Dimaga to defend against that. It looks like he is going to pick off the Marines here that are kind of stranded at the front door. But here's the difficulty for Dimaga. He doesn't have a scout into the Terran player's main, so he really has no idea what's going on right now. All he can go off of is past knowledge, and the past knowledge, of course, stating that QxC went for the fast expand and then went for Marine Hellion. So right now, Dimaga, he does have Lings, he does have Infestors on the way as well. So he's got the Infestation Pit down along with Pathogen Glands on the way. So I think even if QxC comes out with these Marines and Hellions when his timing window is perfect, I think Dimaga will be well prepared. I mean, he's even going to go ahead and reveal this Hellion right away. So now, if there was any doubt in Dimaga's mind, Dimaga now knows for sure that there is indeed Hellions on the map, and most likely Blue Flame is on the way. You guys can see Blue Flame about halfway complete. This Hellion doing its scouting duty. One also towards the north. No, that's a Marine. Looking for the 3rd expansion, and this is perfect timing once again by QxC. He's going to come over to this 2 o'clock location, and he's going to see that hatchery starting to be constructed. Couple Zerglings coming in to intercept the Hellion, and with proper micro, I think the Zerglings will not be able to kill the Hellion. It's going to be close. No, the Hellion will go down to those 3 Zerglings. That speed boost really coming in handy right there. And it looks like Blue Flame is now complete, guys. Yeah, Blue Flame now ready to go. And QxC is starting to move out, but oh, stim much later than before. I think QxC's stim here may have been a little bit delayed. He may have forgotten to produce a tech lab, or maybe he was scared to just put the tech lab out here because it would have been vulnerable to units. But now his Marines do not have stim, and that is going to play a huge role when it comes to these Lings and Infestors. And of course, there's a ton of creep already out on the map, which is going to help these Lings surround the Hellions that much more. But oh no, QxC here gonna roast up a ton of Zerglings. Not good right there by Dimaga. Going a little bit too bold with those Zerglings getting off the creep, and now he's left his topside expansion vulnerable to these Marines and those Marauders. Looks like the Zerglings will be able to surround the Hellions at the center of the map. Nice play by Dimaga, but now he will have to defend this auxiliary hatchery to the top right-hand side, trying to get his Zerglings over there as quickly as possible so he can save that hatchery. That hatchery is now in the yellow. It looks like QxC is trying to micro his Marines away from the Zerglings, trying to get them into a funnel, into a choke point, but there's just too many Marines, and the fungal growth will end the day of those Marines. And say goodnight. Hello. Dimaga right now doing very well. He's got he's basically deflected every attack, and he's pretty much put the foot down against that Marine Blue Flame Hellion timing attack. And really, it's unfortunate that QxC kind of skipped the gap on the stim pack. He just kind of forgot to get it earlier, and because of that, his Marines, unfortunately, were just not as potent along with those Marauders. And if he had stim, he may have been able to take out this hatchery at the top right-hand side. So that really goes to show that these little upgrades, they play huge differences, especially when it comes to hitting your timing windows. So here we go. Looks like QxC going to once again engage. Dimaga, though, laying down the fungal smackdown. And QxC is just going to have to run away with his Hellion, tail tucked between its legs. And there's really nothing that QxC is going to be able to do. He needs to get a 3rd expansion up, man. It looks like he's got the command center going right now, but he needs to start to work down these rocks at the gold. There we go, Marauders on the way right now. And he needs to land that command center at the gold expansion, get his mining going, because right now, if we pull up the income tab, we can see that Dimaga has 62 harvesters. He has more harvesters than QxC does, and this is where Dimaga plays best. Apparently nowadays, Dimaga doesn't like to over-drone. He doesn't like to produce more than 62 drones, and he likes to get more for army supply, and that's really deadly for the Terran army, especially if they keep trading at the center of the map just like this. QxC's army continues to be diminished. QxC not allowed to build up a massive ball, the massive scary Terran death ball of metal units such as tanks, Hellions, and Marines. And as a result, Dimaga continues to get more and more powerful with these recyclable units, the Infestors. So here we go, QxC once again going to try to attack, and he's not going to be able to do any damage at all at the center, and I'm kind of questioning right now, why is QxC doing these attacks at the center of the map? This is where the creep is. This is not really a smart game plan, and he's leaving his forces vulnerable to these Infestors once again, getting in fungal growth and losing the majority of his Marines and Marauders. I mean, if you're going to harass, if you're going to move out with your Marines and your Marauders, the best way to do it is with dropships, and he did that really well in game number 1. So it surprises me this game that he doesn't have a single starport on the map. He doesn't have any drop capability, and as a result, for him to attack these expansions, he has to kind of walk through the killing fields. Essentially, this is this big purple carpet where you walk through there, you're gonna get tackled, you're gonna get smashed. And Dimaga is kind of just like hiding his forces, like guerrilla tactic warfare. He's keeping the Infestors and Zerglings behind these bushes, and he's keeping them separated so he can ambush the forces when they come across the center. And really, QxC, he needs to get starport, he needs to get dropships, because he cannot afford to lose these Marines and Marauders anymore. This army tab is showing that Dimaga has the advantage, and of course, it's just not boding well for QxC. Thankfully, though, he does have the gold hatchery right now, so that's one big step, because now he's got this gold. 3 base Terran is much more potent than 2 base Terran, but as a result, Dimaga also getting the 4th base up. And I also want to call to your guys' attention, Dimaga has actually slipped a couple of Zerglings over to this little rock area right here, and this rock area actually connects over to this expansion, which then proceeds to connect to this rock right here, which QxC has decided to go ahead and destroy. So now, as soon as these rocks go down, Dimaga is going to have this kind of a backdoor secret entrance to go through the back and attack right into the natural, right into the production facilities, and right into the main heart of QxC. And this is bad for QxC. He's even proceeding to lose more Marauders at the center of the map. So, oh man, QxC right now has no idea that there are Zerglings bashing down these rocks here in the red right now. Maybe this command center will actually see the Zerglings. If QxC can see these Zerglings, he will be able to, you know, pick this off, and he'll be able to know that there is kind of this this potential vulnerability behind his area. But no, he is not going to see the Zerglings. The rocks have been destroyed, and this is bad news for QxC. This is a huge opening right into the Terran main. And look at this, Dimaga almost running his forces in there. He was preparing to go in, but once again, Marauders kind of distracting Dimaga. And Dimaga's like, okay, cool. I'll ambush some Marauders for free. Picks them off, and now he's getting ready. Oh my god, that's a lot of Zerglings and Banelings that could run right into the back door. But I think Dimaga will actually engage the Terran army headlong right here. He does have some creep, and he's gonna go ahead and use the tentacles to mind control all the frontline tanks, now dropping off infested Terrans as well, doing serious damage to the Terran player, and retreating all the Infestors, saving every single one. I don't think a single Infestor died there, ladies and gentlemen, and that was huge. Dimaga keeping his most expensive and most valuable units alive. The Zerglings are easily reproducible. That's the nature of the Zerg army, guys. It's expendable, cheap units that you want to throw away, and you want to keep these heavy gas-invested units such as the Infestor alive. And so Dimaga played really well there, trading armies with QxC, because QxC cannot produce at the same rate as Dimaga can. No way in hell. You guys can see all the expansions that Dimaga has, and QxC is actually trying to remedy that by grabbing an expansion. He's already got the planetary up here, so I do like that. And he's also moving a command center over here to this location where the Zerglings have landed. And that's, once again, the story of QxC versus Dimaga. Another command center blocked by Zerglings. And here we go, another major battle at the center of the map. Dimaga gonna drop. No, he will not. His Zerglings, not needing to drop right there, gonna go ahead and retreat. And there's already Ultralisks on the map as well. So, alright guys, now QxC knows that these rocks have been destroyed, if he didn't know before, because the Zerglings are, of course, underneath this command center, and they're kind of just chilling there. So QxC is gonna send a small army of Marauders to dispatch of that. Let's go ahead and pull up the units lost tab here. You guys can see that Dimaga really has lost a lot more units but he hasn't lost as nearly as many units in terms of cost per unit. And that's because Terran players, their army, their units cost a lot more than Zerg does, and that just kind of shows that Dimaga really is winning this battle in terms of an attrition, a war of attrition. Dimaga is ahead, and he's also grabbing another expansion. Good lord, he's getting the gold and this backside expansion towards the bottom side. He's even got a couple of banelings kind of chilling up here, overlooking this planetary. So Dimaga just has brilliant positioning right now. He's got all the units he needs. He's near maxed. He's making more Ultralisks, and honestly, this is the same composition that QxC had to deal with last game, and I don't know how you can deal with this Infestor Ultralisk Zergling Baneling army. It's very, very difficult to combat. And especially if QxC continues to kind of run his Marines and Marauders into the center of the map, he's losing them willy-nilly, and I mean that just doesn't really help in the long-term game. So both these players now kind of just building up their armies to maximum. QxC surprisingly still not getting a starport anywhere on the map, which means, of course, as I said before, has no ability to drop, but he does have a very, very big tank army kind of at the center right here. It looks like Dimaga kind of positioning to drop, possibly. Gonna maybe do a doom drop right into the Terran main, and that's a lot of Overlords. Oh wow, this could be a devastating drop right into the heart of the Terran player. This is the heartland where all the units are being produced, and picking off these barracks and factories is going to be absolutely huge. A couple of Ultralisks here. Apparently they took the wrong stop and got off at the wrong exit. They're gonna have to be elevated back into the main, but that's a lot of lings and Ultralisks. QxC unsieging a lot of his tanks, but these tanks are, some of them actually going down to the bottom side to defend against this. It looks like QxC will have enough, but a lot of facilities getting picked off here. All the upgrades at the engineering bay and the armory have gone down. Supply depots getting withered away. A couple barracks, I believe, went down as well, and the creep here providing a little bit of speed boost for Dimaga as he's ravaged the Terran main. The Ultralisks are still alive here and kicking. At least one Ultralisk is, and it's doing some serious damage to the Terran player as QxC runs his Marauder away and wisely runs over to the cover of his tanks, which obliterate that Ultralisk in about one shot. But very nice drop by Dimaga right now. He is at 198 supply, so he's remaxed his army instantly, and he's put the Terran player in the red by killing off all these supply depots. Look at that. QxC at 165 to 170, so he's having difficulty producing units right now. Dimaga is just running away with this game, dropping once again into QxC's main. This is just showing how a pro level Zerg takes control of the game and really punishes and cripples the Terran army. He's dropping Infestors, dropping Ultralisks, using Fungal Growth, microing so well, picking off these Marauders inside the main, and of course, loading up the fragile Infestors when they're in danger of dying. Very nice played, and kills off a barracks as well. That was really, really good by QxC, and if you guys were wondering, was that effective? Just look at the army supply, 168 to 198. And look at the banked resources. Dimaga has 3,000 minerals, 500 gas, but QxC actually is not too far behind. He's actually got 2,000, 3,000. So really what QxC needs to do right now is remake all those factories and barracks, remake his supply depots, and pump out his units once again. Maybe even go for a couple of drops. He's clearing out these Overlords that are pooping inside his main. So yeah, eventually you do need to do that, kind of recapture some of the grass over here so you can build your buildings again. And QxC is kind of recuperating after that huge blow, but Dimaga has already maxed out his army. He's got a very big scary army in the middle of the map. It looks like he's gonna go in for a massive attack, leading the charge with Infestors mind controlling, and Ultralisk getting dropped out of the Overlords right into the tank line. And QxC's entire middle defense has just been broken apart. What does QxC have? He has a couple of tanks on the high ground here still from the previous attack, and that may be able to push away these Ultralisks, but that will leave this planetary fortress exposed, and all the planetaries at the top exposed as well. So right now, Dimaga can do a lot of damage. He can pick off all these command centers if he wants to, but no, it looks like the forces moving down from the top side here are going to be able to intercept the Ultralisks, and Dimaga losing a ton of Ultralisks there, but he says, you know what, I don't care, I'm making 9 more plus 3 Infestors. So Dimaga, guys, has, I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 mining bases right now compared to 1. Oh my god! I completely missed that. A bunch of SCVs just got just imploded over the a Baneling over here. Presumably the Baneling was burrowed. Do they have burrow right here? No, they don't have burrows, so I guess the Baneling just walked into the SCVs, and I do remember there was a Baneling just kind of chilling here for a long time. Let's pull up that income tab now. QxC has lost about 10 SCVs as a result. Really nice by Dimaga, picking off a bunch of SCVs, and I was going to say QxC's got 1, 2, about 2 mining bases. He would have had 3, but he lost a ton of SCVs, and hello, we are gonna have another drop right into the Terran player's base yet again, and this time there's no planetary fortress to protect. So these Ultras and Zerglings can do a lot of damage. Gonna walk right in here. Meanwhile, a massive engagement at the center of the map. Dimaga coming in with a ton of Ultras. I don't think QxC has enough to deal with this. That's too many Ultras, too many Infestors. That is gonna completely destroy the army. Some Ghosts launching EMPs at the Infestors, but far too late. The Infestors already got the Fungal and the Mind Controls off. The command center goes down, and the center defense once again getting destroyed. This is the grid of the Terran player. If he loses this territory, he is going to lose the game. It looks like Ultras here continuing down on their onslaught to pick off more planetaries, and QxC, if he doesn't get SCVs on repair, could lose his planetary. Another Baneling coming out of nowhere, blowing up some SCVs, and boom, down goes the planetary fortress. It looks like the Ultras over here finally got taken care of. Dimaga leaving a couple of Infestors behind, gets picked off by a tank, and finally the secret entrance being used. Dimaga comes in with more Ultralisks to pick off more SCVs, and I think that Dimaga just ran away with this game. I honestly don't see how QxC can win at this point. He's lost far too much economy. Well, there you go. That's one way Terran players can come back. Just meal it up, baby. Bring about 6 meals down and you're good to go. And really, that's the only resource that Dimaga really needs. He's got tons of gas. Just doesn't have enough minerals to fund his army. But oh man, I just heard a ton of Banelings. Dimaga is seriously making a non-stop production of army units. I mean, every time he trades his army, he's got a whole brand new army ready to go, and this is just showing the power of macro Zerg. And back in the old days in Brood War, you know what we called this? We called this Sauron Zerg. And it's just going to show Dimaga knows how to play. One of the best Zerg players in the world, about to take this game, running in with Ultras, even dropping them down as well, and the entire Terran army will go down. That is certain to be GG. QxC, one last desperate, vital push, but he fails, and QxC GG's out of this game. That was an intense 2-game series. My heart is pounding, my hands are shaking, and everything is just going crazy right now, guys. I cannot believe that was how insane that game was. I just want to thank you guys for tuning into this series, and yeah, I think we're going to have another spoiler-free video coming up next. So if you guys want to have a little laugh, sit back, kick it, and check out the next game. And yeah, QxC is the loser. Dimaga is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. He will advance forward to the round of 8. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. HD, signing out.